Okay, almost ready, Stephanie.
Yes, almost. Yeah, I'm ready. Okay, I will start then. Okay, I'm ready. There, we are live.
Nice. Bien, bienvenidos a todos. Poco a poco se están uniendo más participantes. Queremos iniciar a la hora, son las 6 p.m. Centroamérica. Vamos a dar una pequeña introducción en español y luego vamos a cambiar a inglés para que nuestro invitado, que es de habla inglesa, pueda ver lo que estamos conversando. Luego él va a dar una presentación muy interesante en inglés. Vamos a hacer algunas pausas, pero sobre todo y lo más importante es agradecerles su interés en este importante tema relacionado con inteligencia artificial. En NOUVA tenemos esto como uno de nuestros pilares más importantes, que es compartir información relevante con Latinoamérica, llevar la tecnología de punta que se está gestando en distintas partes del mundo a las empresas de Latinoamérica. Tenemos una huella geográfica desde España, México, Centroamérica y Sudamérica. Tenemos oficinas en Tegucigalpa, Honduras y próximamente en Costa Rica. Somos una empresa asesora que intenta apoyar y logra apoyar a empresas de distintos tamaños, pequeñas, medianas y grandes, para que puedan definir dónde se puede aplicar inteligencia artificial, cómo se puede aplicar inteligencia artificial, cuánto cuesta aplicar inteligencia artificial, pero más importante que todo eso, dónde se encuentra el retorno a la inversión. Eh, Pueden ver nuestros contactos a lo largo de la presentación. De hecho, en el título de mi imagen pueden ver el correo electrónico y al final también va a haber un QR donde ustedes pueden escanearlo y ponerse en contacto con nosotros. Así es que, habiendo dicho eso, vamos a arrancar con la parte en habla inglesa y vamos a avanzar en esta extraordinaria presentación y se van a dar cuenta del nivel de talento y la oportunidad que tenemos al tener a Chiru con nosotros. Okay, so hello everyone and warm welcome to our webinar, Smart Selling in Finance, How AI is Revolutionizing the Sales Process. I'm Victor Ortiz, CEO at NOUVA, and I'm thrilled you could join us today. A special shout out to our attendees from all over LATAM, including Mexico, Honduras, Costa Rica, Guatemala, El Salvador, and the wider South America area. It's fantastic to have you with us. The financial landscape is changing faster. What used to take 12 weeks or 12 days of manual effort from lead qualification to personalized pitches can now be done in minutes with the right tools. Now, which are those tools? Of course, artificial intelligence. This isn't just about automation, it's about being smarter, faster, and more human in how we connect with clients because we're going to have more time when we have AI. Today, we'll dive into how AI is transforming every stage of the sales process. We'll cover AI-powered lead generation, personalized client engagement, boosting conversions, real-world examples, enhancing compliance, and the future of sales in the new era. We'll also have a live Q&A for you to ask questions. This is very important. It'll be at the bottom of your screen, so please submit your questions throughout. I'm joined by our expert speaker, Chiru Bhavansikar, a visionary leader at RHASI, recognized as one of the most impactful chief AI officers of 2024 by AIM Research. With over 2 decades of experience, he has driven the development and commercialization of AI and ML solutions, including pioneering Australia's big cloud computing platforms Deloitte AI financial forecasting platform, and contributing to Cloudera Director. Now, Victor Andrés, let's start and look where we are now.
Por supuesto. Antes que nada, hola a todos y gracias por acompañarnos una vez más en NOUVA. Mi nombre es Víctor Andrés y soy el gerente de IT y marketing de NOUVA Company. Y estoy muy emocionado de comenzar la sesión de hoy. ¿Saben por qué? Porque hablaremos sobre la venta inteligente en finanzas. Un tema con el que, siendo sinceros, muchos líderes del sector están teniendo dificultades en este momento. Si sientes la presión de conseguir que tu canal de ventas cierre más tratos de forma constante, o si trabajas en el departamento comercial y te sientes constantemente frustrado por la falta de leads de alta calidad, créeme, no estás solo. Aquí descubrirás cómo la IA puede ayudarte con esto. Now in English. Of course, first of all, hello everyone, and thank you for joining us once again here at NOUVA. My name is Victor Andres, and I'm the IT and marketing manager at NOUVA Company. And I'm really excited to dive into today's session. You know why? Because we'll be talking about smart selling in finance, a topic that, let's be honest, everyone, many leaders in the industry are struggling with right now. If you're feeling the pressure of getting your sales pipeline to consistently close more deals, or maybe you're in the commercial department constantly frustrated by the lack of high quality leads, you're not alone. Here, you're gonna hear how AI can help you with that.
Así es. Chiru, I will change so I can present one slide for the people. Bueno, la verdad, bienvenidos a todos. Estamos más que emocionados de poder tenerlos acá. Bueno, antes, más bien voy a quitar la pantalla para que nos puedan ver mejor. Ahí después les voy a mencionar el código QR. Y bueno, para que sepan, mi nombre es Stephanie, soy la gerente de desarrollo creativo de negocios en NOUVA y como todos saben, el primer paso es un buen lead. La IA puede analizar vastos conjuntos de datos, desde tendencias de mercado y conversaciones en redes sociales hasta datos demográficos y financieros, para encontrar y calificar los prospectos más prometedores. De hecho, según un reciente estudio e informe de FinTech Futures, más del 65% de las instituciones financieras tendrán la IA integrada en sus operaciones centrales de ventas para 2026, ya es casi encima del siguiente año. Y esto ya no es un lujo, es una necesidad competitiva. También estamos viendo un cambio masivo en las expectativas de los clientes. El modelo de ventas tradicional está luchando por mantenerse al día. Estamos viendo ineficiencias en la calificación de leads, una falta de personalización a escala y ciclos de ventas largos. Y el problema central es que seguimos dependiendo de tareas manuales y repetitivas que agotan el tiempo valioso en nuestros equipos de ventas. La hipótesis, bueno, las instituciones que adoptan la IA ahora superarán significativamente a sus competidores en los próximos 12 a 24 meses. Les presento también, ahora sí, para todos los que están aquí, les presento este código QR para que lo puedan escanear para aquellas personas que quieran recibir servicios de inteligencia artificial o preguntar sobre los servicios que tenemos en NOVA. Para las empresas latinoamericanas solamente lo escanean y nos envían un código, nos envían un correo y ahí estaríamos comunicándonos nosotros. Bueno, ahora, antes de profundizar, me encantaría presentar a nuestro invitado especial de hoy, Chiru. Él está aquí para compartir algunas ideas sobre los desafíos y las oportunidades que muchos de ustedes están enfrentando en este momento. Chiru, welcome. It's great to having you. And now you can start and the floor is yours.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Good afternoon. Good evening, everyone. My Chiru B. Bhavansikar. Mucho gustos. Okay, this is the only thing that I know in Spanish, but every time I hear Spanish, sounds like music. Such a beautiful language.
That's great.
Yeah. So really loving I'm in love with Spanish. So here we are going to talk about like the future of finance, and how its AI is going to impact the aspect of sales in the fintech world. And the reason this becomes important is if you think about any financial institution today, whether it is a bank or a wealth management firm or an insurance company, how do you really make your customers I see you differently? A lot of the times, from my standpoint, there is very minimal differentiation that I see when I look at the banks. All I would look at is a specific interest rate or the price of a policy. And half of the times I don't even understand what the policy tells me other than looking at the price among the insurance companies. Or, I would literally go by, whatever that is on the website. So there is very little differentiation. If you really want to smartly sell, there is a need for identifying your ideal customer profile. And now, because of so much change and the revolution and the technology and the customer interests, there are multiple ideal customer profiles that you would be chasing. And then from that, how do you really create a difference and how do you generate leads is a very, very challenging process. And this is where you want to streamline and optimize with the help of AI to reduce the time it involves to create that multiple segments of ideal customer profile and to be able to target those customer profiles and be able to generate leads faster. As probably you would have memorized my name by now. CAIO represents like a chief AI officer and the founder of Arhasi AI. And thanks to NOUVA over here, wonderful transformative partner in this space. Glad to be here and be on their webinar. So I got recognized by one of the most visionary leaders by Humans of Globe 2025, top 5 rising chief AI officers by Digital Times Media. Somehow in my career, for the impact that I created, I got a lot of recognition like that. I got recognized by the CEO of Deloitte as the one of the most client impactful leader. And I also got a personal meeting and a dinner invitation from Michael Dell, who is the CEO of Dell. Happened to have a dinner with him in Vegas. So these are the things that I got over a period of time for the recognition that because of the impact that I created for the companies I work for or the clients that I served. Now, how did Arhasi come into existence? I was at PricewaterhouseCoopers. I was establishing their data and AI practice, and then I got an idea that what really matters to enterprises when it comes to AI. ChatGPT and these kind of technologies are very beautiful. But what are the principles that an enterprise like FSI, financial services and insurance companies would look for to really adopt AI and be successful with AI? And that's when I ended up actually creating Arhasi in order to basically address that specific need. How do we what can we give these enterprises so they can quickly get value, comply with the internal and external regulatory requirements, and be auditable, and not risk themselves with the utilization of AI. So if we look at the financial industry today, how the sales work is threefold. The first is understanding your own products, which literally comes in various formats, and instruments being one of those. And the products are very dynamic in nature, changing. There are a lot of products that the financial institutions create today. And there are very combinations of products as well. And the reason these products are created, especially in the financial world, is to map those products to the ideal customer profile.
Mhm.
So there are two things that are happening here. One is I don't have one ideal customer profile. I have got maybe 20 or 30 varieties of ideal customer profiles. And that gets even complicated when you look at the kind of institutions you're looking at, whether you're doing it retail banking or wealth management or or insurance industry or commercial banking or something like that. And now you have to actually generate products to match these, generate interest for these different ideal customer profiles. So there is like an aspect of integration that is required between these two. Today's systems in the industry, don't give you that integrated view. There is a view of your products. There is a view of what customers are using, which products are, even that view is not consistent. But there is also a sales team that is actually reaching out to customers without exactly realizing what's happening and how the customers are using the products, how those customers got attracted to those products. So this is a disconnected view that actually leads to inefficient targeting of the market. So where AI really comes in, which not many people talk about. People talk about how do you optimize customer communication and how do you actually customer research. Absolutely, that is true. But where like AI really comes into existence is to create the integrated view where it empowers sales teams with maximum amount of information that they don't have at their hands when they are actually interacting or reaching out to customers in any communication format, whether it is an email, whether it is through some marketing, or whether it is direct communication. So imagine a situation where I am a salesperson, let's say wealth management advisor, targeting very high profile clients, and I have got target of like 3 or 4 ICPs within my high profile clients, and I'm reaching out to them. If I have a power of information for this ICP and who I'm calling, and here is what really led in the past, those kind of similar customers who got attracted to these X, Y, and Z products, and here are the reasons. If those insights are with me right there, hey, you're calling this customer, he falls under ICP profile 1, and here are the 5 reasons that really impresses these kind of people based on his demographics, based on his social media presence, based on his kind of accounts that he has and all that stuff. Then it makes it easier for you to target that ICP in any format that you want and be able to actually generate a lead. So it's an integration issue. AI solves integration issues extremely well because it has this uncanny ability to connect disconnected systems, because it can map data in a more contextual semantic sense rather than rigid rules. So, so the impact that you would create is be able to actually generate leads faster because you have more targeted messaging. And this is my experience too. Not only, let's forget about finance and the banks for a moment. Imagine you are a company and you get bombarded with AI messages today in emails and in like media, web, you go to your Facebook, social media messages, LinkedIn, bombarded with so many AI messages. It's total noise. Would you even pay attention to it? Like, I mean, I get like, maybe 20 messages a week, like saying that, hey, like, we are like an AI company, we do X, Y, and Z, and I just click delete.
Yeah.
That's what happens. There is a lot of noise. How do you actually differentiate that noise? Now you need to be very specific in how you are actually presenting your message and tune that message only if you can understand the customer. And this was always the case. They used to call it like micro segmentation of customers. This word existed for a while, at least like I know for 10 years, but it never fructified it never delivered the results. People used to call it customer 360, if you have heard of that. And people used to call it instrument 360,
Yeah.
customer development platform, customer insights platform. All these words came up over the last 10 years. Nothing really delivered the result, because the approach that companies took was, I can improve my understanding of customer just because I consolidated my data, and people call it data lakes. What they forgot to turn is, consolidation of data doesn't necessarily actually create value. Only if you can create insights and turn that data into information, then it creates value. So now the beauty of like AI is you don't have to depend on consolidation of data. You can have your data sits across systems, while you can actually do a very dynamic, fluid, flexible integration across systems. And one of the things that is going in that direction, if you heard of it, something called as MCP, Model Context Protocol. So this is something creating waves, because that is the foundational principle or the methodology now, or a protocol that will allow you to actually change the future of how you actually bring interconnectedness across your enterprise systems. Now, when you have that, now you can drive insights. What are the parameters? What are the customer behaviors? What are the current industry impact that is driving my growth? If I'm picking a call and I'm actually ringing someone, if I have all those in front of me, mapping to that customer who I'm calling, now I can be like, I don't need to be a most expert salesperson. I can be a good salesperson who can deliver expert value. And it also creates consistency among sales teams. If you see any sales team, you ask anyone, 20% of the salespeople create maximum amount of revenue. Other 80% don't. So why are those 80% not able to do that? Because there is no standardization.
Yeah.
Right? Definitely. Chiru, do you wanna pause so that we can give a little bit of a taste in Spanish so that for the audience?
Absolutely.
Okay, great. Thank you. Chiru está mencionando algo extremadamente importante. Muchos y la mayoría hemos escuchado de los centros de datos del cliente. Y estos centros de datos del cliente, donde pretendemos tener toda la información del cliente para, dentro de ese centro de datos, usar las estrategias para comunicarnos de una forma más personalizada. Chiru nos está diciendo que durante los últimos 10 años, esa novedosa idea no ha funcionado como se esperaba. Y que en este momento, inteligencia artificial sí la puede hacer funcionar. Sí puede recoger todos los datos de la persona con la cual yo voy a conectarme a través de correo, a través de mensaje, a través de una llamada, a través de una visita. Y antes de entrar en contacto con ese prospecto, inteligencia artificial me puede dar hasta el más mínimo detalle de con quién voy a sentarme, con quién voy a conectar para articular mejor un mensaje en el proceso de venta. Así es que es impresionante. Please go ahead, Chiru.
Thank you. Now, organizations have an opportunity to really transform how AI can impact their sales. It just comes down to 3 factors. Bring the right tools. Don't go by the fad of like just AI. And this comes up more often, like, does everything have to be AI? Absolutely not. No, not in order to create transformation, AI is significant, but everything need not be AI. You will always run into a situation, you'll be running with a combination of AI and non-AI in order to create a workflow or a process that you want to automate. And creation of insights that are automated in nature. I was talking to very recently another financial institution, literally actually this morning in the UK. So, and then they told me something. We are using Power BI, and it takes maybe like about a week or few weeks before as an executive to see like what's happening within my sales organization. So the data is old. By the time the executive is actually getting the information, it is almost 2 to 3 weeks old.
2 to 3 weeks to know what's going on?
Exactly.
Power BI? Wow.
Yeah. So it's not just the technology. I wouldn't say Power BI is bad. It's just that the problem is with how the processes are modeled, how the workflows are, how the data is disconnected. If these can be improved, and you can also use AI to generate automated insights. Of course, there is this automation within Power BI that's coming up as well. It's the same intent, but there are like a lot of other opportunities for to generate these automated insights, and creating more of personalized kind of a messaging by understanding that customer behavior better. So there is a lot of opportunity that can be like completely transformed with the help of AI. So what like also organizations miss is when people talk about automation, immediately people think about a lot of enterprise automation companies that exist today. They came up with a recent name called RPA, robotic process automation. Yes, AI can transform that enterprise automation, and it can actually completely replace robotic process automation in a much cheaper way and in a much better way. That is taken for granted. However, there is another aspect of automation, which is data automation, which people forget about it. If you don't have your data ready, which is if your data is not AI ready, automation fails. This was the exact same problem why RPA did not deliver to the degree that enterprises expected it to deliver. RPA takes a complete view that I can make anything with automation. I can transform your processes without paying any attention to data or integrations. Whereas AI can take a very comprehensive approach. It not only provides automation to the data processes and workflows to prepare the data for AI readiness, and it follows that same tune and seamlessly flows into enterprise automation. So you're really creating a natural pathway starting from data readiness to the AI readiness and enterprise automation. By doing that, you're creating a complete end-to-end seamless execution of and automation of processes. Now, the mistake that people had with RPA, you can address that here.
Okay, Chiru, what just for the people to know more details about what you just mentioned, which is it's amazing to listen to data ready for AI. What do you mean? Can you expand your explanation? What is data being ready for AI?
Yeah. So let's say I want to basically basically optimize my leads, right? So if I am if I'm actually doing a campaign, or I want to basically an advisor, financial advisor reaching out to a client, I want to know which leads I need to really focus on and how to target. Okay. What does that really mean? Like, how do I know that which is a good lead? How do I know which leads that I need to focus this week or today? How do I know what I should actually communicate to this lead to turn that lead into a customer? What are the offers that I need to provide? This is all actually driven by data. So if the data has issues, it is not high quality. If the data has slow processes, if your data workflows are very rigid and rules-based, then like everything that you build on the AI side as automation will not deliver your end goal because everything is driven by data.
Got it.
And I ask organizations, okay, so are you ready with your data for AI? And they say like, nah, we are not ready. Now my next question to them is, what are you doing differently to make yourself being ready? And they say like, oh, we have these tools, Informatica, X, Y, and Z, and all those things. but you have had that for last 15 years or 20 years. How do you think you'll get to that state quickly if you're doing exactly the same thing which you have been doing for 15 to 20 years?
Yeah.
Right? So there is another way of doing that. If you and this is actually like really picking up in US banks, I'm seeing this. Enterprises, especially financial institutions, have figured out that by applying AI to the traditional data workflows, they can improve the quality of the data, transparency of the data, and how they can make data AI ready. The time it takes to get to that AI ready state and good quality data, good transparent data, you can accelerate that by applying AI. So what I'm saying here is just don't think AI as an automation tool. Think of AI as something even can actually get you to the state where your data is ready.
Right. Right. Correct.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I address this like, personalization is, everyone agrees that, how do you actually make, understand the sentiment of the customer? How do you understand the behaviors of the customer? How do you understand the demographics of the customer? How did a specific customer became, a lead became a customer, and like, what are the similar patterns of the customers? How do we identify them? It all comes down to how do we personalize a message or an offer or a campaign. The benefit here with AI is you can also anticipate what client probably wants. By mapping these behavior patterns at a large scale, before a client asks for it, you can probably actually anticipate like what the client would need and be able to actually suggest a solution. That means you have more effective engagement strategies and you are offering more tailored solution rather than a solution that is very like cookie cutter. Now you can have a solution for a client that is very specific to his circumstances or situations.
Okay, Chiru, can you please provide one example of how can AI anticipate client needs?
Yeah. So let's say a sales is reaching out to a client, and I have already understanding of, based on the parameters of the client I'm reaching out to, maybe the age group, or maybe the demographics, or maybe the kind of information that I know about the client. I am able to quickly map to similar clients and what made them become from a lead to a customer. Okay, because I know that and what like similar clients have asked for it, I'm able to actually can anticipate those needs ahead of the time. Like it's nothing more than like what you go on Amazon and you place an order, right? You go and like wanted to buy like a bicycle, right? And it actually comes and or you're buying like a let's say you're placing an order for something on Amazon, and then it actually comes and actually shows like, hey, like whoever bought this also they bought X, Y, and Z. And the reason like we know that they bought X, Y, and Z is because of like the kind of they have information about your searches, what you have been doing, and then what similar customers bought. Like anyone who buys a bicycle probably actually buys a service along with that bicycle to actually get it installed, right? Or anyone who buys a bicycle probably buys like I wouldn't say spare tire, but maybe like a hand pump or something like that, pump to actually fill air, something like that. Similarly, if you apply to the concept in the financial world, you're actually doing the same thing, like using artificial intelligence at scale.
Right. So it's basically if I have a client that had a relationship with my fintech for the last 10 years or 5 years or 2 years, I should have enough information about that person that can be routed and summarized or aggregated in a way that can help a salesperson or an officer to anticipate what would be the needs of this person, because he knows cash flows, he knows income statements, he knows more or less what's going on with this client, but AI will put it in a context that will help this salesperson to engage with the client.
Exactly, exactly. Remember, like, when like a client applied for a credit card in the past, he shared all the information. Probably he has now applied for a mortgage. He sent, like, submitted all his, like, financial documents, all his everything. Almost 90% of the times, the documents going to a document management system and sit there. There is a worth and value of information that is not tapped into.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
So what we are really creating is a very more dynamic intelligence system. This intelligence system continuously evaluates in the background what is happening about a specific client account, client behaviors, everything, and is continuously educating the sales teams on like what really works with a specific client. So you're creating like a more like an event-driven, automated decision-making framework with the help of AI. That's more proactive in nature. It's like someone, your intelligence team doing continuous work for you. These teams do exist today in every institution. They are called as like analytics teams or data analytics teams. They were supposed to help financial teams to deliver that continuous information and empower them. But because of all the processes are so time consuming, they are busy in like day-to-day management of data issues rather than actually delivering more real-time insights. And because of disconnected nature, the sales teams really don't get that information on time. So it's almost like they're very, two things are happening in parallel. There is some coordination, but the coordination is not like very timely. That's where the problem is. But here you are creating, with the help of AI, you're creating, imagine your own intelligence framework or intelligence set of analytics agents that go and actually continuously doing this work and helping you with and empowering you with information.
Right. I think it would be nice if you allow me, Chiru, to make a pause and do a bit of translation. I know the people that is with us tonight, they know English, but it would be nice to speak in Spanish a bit. So I'll give it to you in a while. Chiru está colocando un uso de caso sumamente interesante. Hemos vivido esto con el equipo y es la pregunta, ¿cuáles son los casos de uso con AI, con inteligencia artificial? Y Chiru está mencionando que cuando una oficial se va a acercar o el cliente se acerca al oficial y este oficial tiene la ayuda de inteligencia artificial, puede darle en su pantalla una cantidad de información que nace de los datos que se encuentran ya en el sistema o que nace de un comportamiento que tiene el cliente fuera del sistema. Y puede hacer una comparativa con muchos otros clientes parecidos o de un perfil muy parecido para poder proveer los argumentos, los caminos, las propuestas y las ideas que van a resonar más con el perfil económico, social y psicológico del cliente que tiene enfrente. Y eso es una ayuda para un oficial de negocios muy, muy, muy grande. Y está en tiempo real, que es lo que estamos viendo en la diapositiva en este momento. Thank you, Chiru. Please go ahead.
One more important thing to consider, you don't want to leave AI on its own. Just previously we were talking about how about I have AI do all these things, analytics agents doing continuous work for you, analyzing information, empowering you. But you want to have guardrails around it. Now, what those guardrails are called responsible AI and governance. You want to control this AI in a way that it actually provides transparency, it provides traceability of what it is doing, and it itself is auditable. right? I mean, that's extremely important. Otherwise, like especially if you have auditors coming into place and you have something actually doing and making decisions for you and or providing information, and if you cannot audit that, then like that is literally is not going to see light beyond proof of concepts. This is another problem. A lot of the times I have conversations with clients and I ask them like, how many proof of concepts of AI did you do? And they say like we did about 25 or so. And then I said, how many are actually being used in production serving you? And they say like one or two. And the reason for that is most don't see, light beyond proof of concepts because of this very reason, lack of guardrails, and the AI team with all the excitement built AI, but actually could not convince like the compliance, regulatory, and the AI security teams.
Yeah, I think, Ishiro, if you allow me, that's one of the questions that we have for tonight, because fintech personnel, and I'm talking about mid-level managers or high-level managers, they are all very concerned about security and the risk of integration. So they also have the IT guy on their side saying something like, listen, our core technological core is very delicate. There is a lot of confidential information. If you want to do a POC or if you want to integrate with AI, we're not sure we can do that. There's too many risks. And so people is a bit afraid of that. So you're talking about something very important, which is compliance and AI integrity, which I believe will cover some of those issues, right?
Yeah, exactly. So some of the outcomes we are seeing in the industry with the use of AI is, deal cycle time is being reduced by at least 30%. Sales team efficiency is at least 15%, although it's early days, like, it will go up further if we give another a year or so. Client retention is definitely increased by 25%, and better relationship management by 15%. In fact, we had a wealth management client who wanted us to basically figure out which clients would potentially leave, or like which clients they would lose this month. And we used AI and we provided results. And we said like, here are the 23 clients you would potentially lose this month. And we gave reasons with the help of AI, right? And then we could do this in less than 4 weeks. And when they looked at those numbers, 23 of those, and then they actually backtracked and they said, yeah, this week we lost 3 of them exactly within those 23 that you gave us. It literally precisely matched who they were going to lose.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah. So it's to that degree you can easily predict.
100% match. That's awesome.
Yeah. And a lot of manual tasks that sales teams would do, like, with the help of co-pilots, and, you can easily reduce that by, 40%. And most importantly here, like, improving data accuracy and compliance. It's 15% at a minimum, right? I mean, these are like numbers that we are seeing just with when you just launch AI, do like a few things here and there, you are still haven't even like fully leveraged the potential of it. You're still in the experimentation or after like experimentation mode, right? Still you're seeing these results.
Right.
Okay. So something that we have seen at Arhasi is like AWS is something that we actually significantly partner with, and their ecosystem for AI infrastructure services is very formidable, and it gives a wide variety of choice in terms of pick and choose various infrastructure components on the AI side that would help you to build a very complex ecosystem. And we have, of course, like AWS is very strong on the financial side. They already have a lot of good financial presence, and a lot of financial firms trust Amazon's posture in terms of security, integrity, and governance. So, and the same thing they have extended to the AI infrastructure as well.
Great.
So here is what we, when we actually started our Hasi, we said that we want to build a platform that you can build once, run anywhere. What that means is you build your AI process once, and now you take that, you can run like wherever you want. A lot of banks are not even on cloud. Sometimes they're mostly on premise. I can
Really?
run it. Yeah, actually, a lot are not on like on cloud, right? Like, I mean, probably you're seeing that too.
Okay, but those hardware requirements are quite different than the conventional data centers of banks?
Yeah, so what like Rapid allows you to do is now it creates a very standardized approach with guardrails and controls to comfortably build AI fast and run quickly, wherever you are, whether it is on premise, whether you're on any cloud provider,
Yeah.
right? So, and the way we coined this term Rapid is we went and asked our clients, what are the things that are important to you? And they said like responsible AI, adaptability to my environment, to my systems, especially a lot of legacy systems. A lot of AI doesn't integrate with legacy systems, and banks have legacy systems. They still have mainframes, they still have older DB2 databases, they still have like many other systems. It's where the core information resides. Okay, and predictability. I should be able to trust AI, because if I don't want AI to give me two different decisions or informations which drift from each other if my input is the same. Okay. Every time, like one of the things you would probably see in ChatGPT, you ask the same question type twice, it gives you two different answers.
Yeah, that's right.
That's not acceptable in financial world. How do you make it more predictable? Okay, how do you make like it, integrity, which is almost like, establishing guardrails, governance, controls, auditability, and how do you make it defensible, right? So these are the 5 principles, and we actually built the platform that is built once, run anywhere, with these principles in mind.
That self-auditability, that's a very important aspect, so that it learns how to protect the data and the processes.
Exactly. Yeah. So so there is a 4-step process. We saw that it works. Understand where your current capabilities are. Start with a small pilot. You don't need to go and actually take a very drastic approach. And then like scale each initiative at a time. The most important thing I tell, if you really want it to be successful with AI, just think a little differently. You don't need to build like a strong like AI strategy. Okay, so a lot of the times in traditional world, people used to spend like months and months to build a strategy. By the time you bring that to execution, they don't align. So with AI, I wouldn't say strategy is not important. It is definitely important. But along with the strategy, don't wait for strategy to finish. Make proof of concepts or concept modeling as a part of the strategy. So you can vet out what works and what doesn't work out. And now you have a more solid proof of actionable strategy.
Right. That's a hands-on strategy, right? I mean,
good word. Yeah, hands-on strategy. Definitely return of investment is seen. And I mean, sometimes you hear that AI hasn't delivered like ROI in the news. And that's because people, when they talk about now AI, like AI has various facets to it. How are you using AI? I've come across a bank which went and invested hundreds and millions of dollars in acquiring like GPUs. Do you need GPUs? Absolutely, yes. But what happened was, in this instance, they bought GPUs without having a perspective on how to use them, where to use them. Those GPUs are sitting in their data center. They, of course, depreciate. And there is no value coming out of that. Yeah, we spent $100 million on AI with not a single dollar return. Okay, so where are you applying AI? A lot of the times you don't need like costly training GPUs. Yes, there are use cases for that. A lot of use cases, like especially on the sales side, you can solve with like inference GPUs. Okay. And or you can use like cloud services where you can actually take a small, you can slice the GPU and take like buy that for like a portion of time, like so you don't need like expensive GPUs to solve some of these kind of problems. But like if a lot of ROI is not seen only because where you are actually putting your money. If you're putting in money just in GPU without a perspective of how you are to use it, then you're running into trouble.
Have you found in the financial ecosystem many companies or some companies using private cloud-based storage?
Yes, yeah. Everyone is there are two trends I am seeing. Most are on premise. And if they are using cloud, AWS has a good presence, and then they use like very confined area of a sandbox or a controlled regular environment for AI, with very controlled access to the systems, and like full audit and controls into that environment. And a lot are using like the models and the GPUs available on the cloud. In fact, even someone who is on premise, one of the roadblocks is acquiring like any GPUs. So what people I'm seeing they are doing is they may run everything on premise, but they may use like the GPU and the model that is available on cloud, but you don't store any data on the cloud.
Got it.
Right. So you're using purely it for like intelligence and inference.
Right. Or computer capacity.
Exactly. Exactly. Well said that. Okay. Another area you can also use AI to actually automatically generate like key performance indicators of how the team is performing, where it's going well, where it's not going well. The beauty of like what AI is not just a static dashboard. It just doesn't tell you numbers. I'll give you a good example here. Let's say you go and get your blood test done.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then what happens? Like you get a report. It says like, your glucose is X out of this, your, uh, you I mean, like there are the various parameters they will give you. It probably means if I'm a total novice, I'm not like into medicine. All these metrics, actually, my blood report says like 20 or 30 metrics. I actually, other than one or two, I actually don't even know what those other metrics are. And what does it mean to be, whether I'm healthy, not healthy, whether I should go and get myself checked? None of that information exists in that. That's how the KPIs and the dashboards are today.
Mm-hmm.
There are numbers, but what does it mean by what action I need to take? It doesn't tell you. So whereas like what AI does is it transforms those dashboards into meaningful insights. Now it can tell you that, hey, here are the numbers. From these numbers, what it really means for you is you need to take X, Y, Z and action, X, Y, and Z actions. These are the focus areas. This is what is right. This is what is wrong. Like if I look at that blood report, what it really means for you is, yep, you are average healthy. This is where you're bad. And if you do, you need to do these three things. That's
Mm-hmm.
what I want to hear, not the numbers of that report.
Right.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, at Arhasi, we are a platform company, and then, we work with our partners. And then, like, our objective is to basically, give a regulated, compliant, responsible, governed AI platform that optimizes financial operations and workflows. And that you can build when, anywhere, run anywhere. That's what we do. Thank you. I'm happy to take any questions.
Thank you. Thank you. Do we have any questions, Victor?
No, not right now. I'm just gonna right now I'm gonna say in Spanish. If they have any question, that please type it on the Q&A.
Okay, Stephanie, you think
Hola a
we can
todos.
Sorry, go ahead, Victor.
Sí, hola a todos. Si tienen una pregunta, por favor, escríbanlo en el Q&A y con nosotros, con muchísimo gusto, les ayudamos a responderla. Aquí tenemos a Chiru para que nos ayude a responder las preguntas que tengan. Okay, yeah, you can go ahead.
Stephanie, we have some questions for Shiro so that we can make this session as impactful as possible. Do you have something for him?
Well, I have just one question, Chiru, regarding the what you have been telling us today. And I think is well, it's a common question, but I think it will be good to know it. So, what are the security implications of using AI with sensitive client financial data? I know it's a very sensitive topic, but I would like to know that.
Yeah, good question. So the security concerns are more along the lines of exposing sensitive information to the world and probably abusing information in giving incorrect decisions, which people think are correct. For example, I went to perplexity.ai, if you are familiar with it today. And I actually typed about myself, who is this guy. Okay. And it gave some good information. It also gave some information so authoritatively that actually it's nothing true about me. So it actually, and if anyone is reading that, it almost sounds authoritative. And if I ask the same thing another time, like it would give me completely different information.
Yeah.
So now imagine that happening that, when an executive in a financial institution are looking at some metrics or KPIs, what is my profit and loss? Or, I mean, like the sales team is actually reaching out to a customer and like I have insights given by AI. Okay, so where it actually abused the information that is out there and misled me, right? So how do you actually do this? How do you control this? The security concerns can be controlled in 3 ways. The first is protect AI from how it gets access to what information and make it auditable. Second, don't let your information go out of your environment when you are actually giving it to any models. And you can do that multiple ways. There is something called business associate agreements you can sign with the companies which actually give those models. And thirdly, you want to actually create what is called as a deterministic layer in front of those models. And there are like white papers on that. And then we actually did research R&D on that. Make it more deterministic in nature, where AI doesn't, potential for AI hallucinating is very much minimized. And it can be done in multiple ways, writing a transformer layer, and also like by establishing what is called as a right prompting, and also making sure that the data is accurate. That's why the importance of data accuracy is very, very, very important here.
It's kind of a supervising module within the system, right?
Exactly.
Okay, great. Shiru, we're coming to the end of the session because of time, but I think I have a question that it would be nice to share with you. If a bank or someone that is working for a fintech would like to have a talk with you and try to understand if there is an advisory service that you can provide, how would that work?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, reach out to, our friends here, NOUVA, and then, we can connect, collaboratively with the team, and then we can actually have a discussion about it. We'd be very happy to help.
Okay, and what type of companies and how big are the companies that you can provide service to? I mean, are you talking about small fintech, mid-level fintech, or what type of companies? How big are they?
Yeah, we cater to small and mid-market. And the reason for that is there really is value with our approach quickly. What small and mid-markets really care about is speed and mitigating risks. They don't want to do too many experiments. They want outputs. That's where we focus on. And one thing, if like, if you make a mistake and lose $1 million for a mid-market or a small company, it's very impactful. It risks their job. Whereas a large company, like a big enterprise, what I have seen with a large of big enterprise financial companies is they go into a huge experimentation mode. They have 100 people AI team, and they all are doing their independent experimentation on their own. Objectives and results may matter, but by the time they surface, like it will take few years, and they can take that risk. They can do that investment. Small and mid markets cannot. They cannot take that risk. They want to show output quickly, and that's exactly where we focus on.
That's it. That's interesting because you focus on the center of the diana. I mean, you try to nail the result. That's very important. Would you take any project outside the financial sector?
We do have clients who like in the healthcare, actually life sciences sector, and even in technology sector, and like mostly these three sectors. That's where we are. But like literally, like the people where the message resonated well is people who really care about security, governance, and mitigating risks. So anyone who cares about these things, they are a good client, right? Anyone who goes into experimentation mode and like who don't care about these things are not so important, like probably not a good fit.
Got it. That's good to know. Okay, I think we're coming to the end. Stephanie, do you want to have the final words?
Yeah, well, thank you, Chiru, and thank you, everyone. Muchas gracias a todos. También recordarles que si quieren contactarnos, pues nos envían un código, escanean el código QR y ahí nos llegan el correo por si tienen alguna pregunta o consulta de los servicios de inteligencia artificial que hemos visto el día de hoy. Y no, más que todo, muchas gracias a todos por habernos acompañado. And Chiru, thank you so much for taking the time as well, for making the presentation and being here with us.
Awesome.
Hopefully
Thank
it's
you.
not the last time. Thank you very much, Hiro. It's been a real
Thank you.